Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for wonderful exotic Kirtan.
Rajan, you are taking your clothes from the
Mataji is here. Mataji will take over the class from here, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Tanigevel Prabhu. Thank you, Rasana Prabhu and the team of devotees. I can see so many devotees there. Wonderful, enlivening Kirtan. Thank you very much. And this is the first class for this new year. So wishing you all a very happy new year. And also it's an auspicious Ekadasi that our first CC class we are, beginning. So that's a wonderful auspicious way of beginning the session. So thank you very much. So let's offer our prayers before we begin the class. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sakagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Vitkripatamam Vande Shri Gurum Dhenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada So welcome all the devotees for the CC session today. Quite some time back, we are actually, today the topic is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. In fact, this is the 19th chapter of Madhya Leela. And we also discussed from the same chapter quite some time back. In between, there were many festivals and many special occasions. So we had those topics, and marathon month, we were talking about book distribution. So we are now coming back to our original subject where we left, that is Madhya Leela 19th chapter. So the last session, we were discussing about Shuddha Bhakti. So Srila Rupa Goswami mentions in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that what is pure Bhakti? He gives a definition of Anya Bilakshita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Silanam Bhakti Rottamam. So he says that pure devotional service means that which is not mixed with jnana and karma, which is completely pure. It is free from the contamination of all jnana and karma, and it is devoid of all material desires and fruitive results, free from. So jnana means philosophical speculation here refers to, and karma is the fruitive results. So bhakti means it should be free. Pure bhakti means it is not, it should be free from any fruitive mentality. Okay, I'm doing this, so I'll get it. It should not be like that. It is just done for the pleasure of the Lord. Similarly, this bhakti is not done in order to attain the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Rather, the bhakti is done in order to please the Supreme Lord. So it should be free from this contamination of monistic philosophy, the impersonal Brahman realization, and the fruitive results. So that is the pure devotional service. And it is constantly done in the mood of favorably serving Krishna. So that is considered as a first-class devotion service. So that's what we were discussing in the last session. The characteristics of pure devotion service and many aspects of pure devotion service. So basically, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayag, the holy place, the confluence of the three rivers, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Rupa Goswami and the science of devotional service. And we could see that those instructions were put on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami for the benefit of all of us. And that's what we are now reading. And also Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions a chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, what are the instructions Mahaprabhu gave to Srila Rupa Goswami. And we will see in the next chapter the instructions to Sanatana Goswami. So they are very, very powerful. In fact, we see some of those instructions, are kind of going over our head because it is something very high. So let's see what are the subject matters discussed. We will see today. Just a moment, I will share the screen. Just a moment. Okay, can you see the screen, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, you could see it.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, we will be seeing the verses from 177 to 191. Let's see.
Challenges in this workshop. Many different.
So here we see this is something about the 9 stages of Bhakti Yoga. So how step by step one actually attains prema. Say for example, if someone having no bhakti or is beginning the devotional service, or someone who is quite new, like all of us, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we didn't have any idea. What Bhagavad Gita is talking about or Srimad Bhagavatam is talking about. So how do we enter, and what are the different steps in the ladder of Bhakti Yoga that one can attain the final fruit, which is prema, Krishna prema, which is love for Krishna. This is one ladder where we see prema as a final thing. But if you see in the pure devotee's life, there is much more to go. So let's first see this. Then we will see what is there beyond prema. Yeah. So the step starts with Ado Shraddha, that is flickering faith. So when we even coming to Krishna consciousness, we all remind ourselves, our devotional life. If you rewind back, how do we start? How do we started? Basically, we didn't have so much faith. We had little bit of faith here and there, and then we started to associate with devotees, right, in Bhakti Vriksha, in the programs. And then when we associate with devotees, what do? We start chanting, we start reading, then we eat prasadam, we do many things together. In fact, the 9 process of devotional service is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archana, Mantram, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedam. So few of the things we do, at least Shravanam and Kirtanam, we try to do more in the association of devotees. And of course, when we go further in the journey, then we also accept a bona fide spiritual master. So in that way, is sadhu sangha happens. Then sadhu sangha bhajana kriya happens. Bhajana kriya means devotional activities, various devotional activities. And then what happens when we perform all these things? Slowly, all the unwanted things, anartha nivritti, it gets washed off. So if we ask anyone, have we crossed the stage of anartha nivritti? It's a question mark, because there are still so many anarthas which are still in our heart, bothering us, disturbing us, and are standing as impediments for pure devotional service. When we look back, we know better than anybody else. Someone else may praise us, oh, you are the best devotee, you are this, you are that. But truly we know from our heart what are the unwanted things sitting in our heart, right? Generally they say kama, krodha, lobha, mada, matsarya, lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, and pride. But how much have we have we gained the control over these things, these enemies? What is the percentage? Can anyone say what's the percentage of lust in our heart, or the percentage of greed? Can we boldly say that I don't have any lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, and pride, not even a trace? Only then, actually, we are moving to the next stage, Nishta. That means steady faith. We start with the flickering faith. That means shaking faith. Komal Shraddha. It's very, very soft. That means anytime we can fall off this way or that way. It's like cat on the wall. I may jump to the right, or I may jump to the left. But whereas a person who is in the level of Nishta, steadiness, very, very fixed. Like if you see a storm comes, the banyan tree remains very strong. But whereas, you see the other palm tree and other trees, they bend over. But, so the faith here is that we are talking about the Nishta is such a strong, determined, focused faith. So that happens when the contamination in the heart gets removed, the Anartha Nivritti stage. So, people who have been doing this bhajana kriya, devotional activities for quite some time, they move to this step of Anartha Nivritti and they are there. It takes quite a long time, unless otherwise someone is really very sincere and also who has got a lot of mercy from pure devotees, then can move on to the next one, which is a steadiness in bhakti. Sometimes, see our bhakti, we are very enthusiastic. Sometimes you are not. Sometimes you are so happy doing everything, chanting, hearing, all this. Sometimes you are switched off, So our bhakti, our devotion is thick and thin. Sometimes it's thick, sometimes it is thin, depending on what is my mood, right? Many times we say, oh, today I don't have a mood, so I didn't do this. But people who are really progressing in devotional life, it is not depending on the mood. It doesn't matter whether the mood is good, mood is not good. They do their process. They carry on with their Krishna conscious process very sincerely and diligently. That's Nishta stage. So someone who is in Nishta, they a lot of taste. Taste means no one has to tell them, it's a time for chanting. No one has to tell them, have you read the books? No one has to tell them, you have to worship the deities. But naturally, they have developed such a taste and they want to keep on chanting. They want to keep on reading. They want to keep on serving. That's ruchi. And then it further gets condensed. It becomes attachment to Krishna, very attached to the Lord. So much of love. And that love becomes even more, matured, then it becomes, comes to bhava, which is a preliminary step of love of Godhead, where a person exhibits all kinds of that bhava, like trembling, tears pouring from the eyes, many ecstatic symptoms. It's described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We can refer to that. And then when it gets further matured, completely matured, and that form is prema, where a person has got full love for Krishna, where there is no iota of any unwanted material contamination, completely pure, and completely the heart is filled with love for Krishna, which is unmotivated, uninterrupted. There is no holidays, no conditions, but it is just flowing like Ganges. So that is prema, the ultimate, love of Godhead, the ultimate fruit of our devotional life. So this is what happens, a conditioned soul, when it slowly takes with a little faith association, performs devotional service, gets rid of this Anartha Nivritti stage, develops that firm faith, Nishta, steady faith, and then moves on to get the taste, to perform devotional service, and gets development, Ashakti, attachment to the Lord, and develops bhava and prema finally. This happens in our life. When we are sincere, we go into this different journey and finally attain the fruit, prema. Sometimes we may get stuck and sit over there in bhajana kriya itself, where we are struggling even to chant, struggling even to associate with devotees, struggling even to do the basics. And we are just stuck there. And sometimes the jiva, the living entity, may take many births to go forward even to the next step. So we ourselves know which stage we fit in, which category we are fitting in. So this is this happens in the stage of conditioned soul. But now let's see what happens in a mood of pure devotees. It is final from prema. They are kind of elevating to a higher stages, relishing, very sweetly described. Let's see what it is. So this one is the basics which we saw now from sadhana bhakti. It starts with the sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means we do our chanting, reading, which is all like rules. Sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti means doing things, based on the rules, because it's not spontaneous. Then one goes to the next stage, all the stage rati, attachment. We saw ashakti, so it's a rati. It is compared to a seed, the seed, bija. And from there, what happens? Prema. Prema means here it is compared to sugarcane plant. So you're putting the seed and the sugarcane is coming out now. The fruit has come out now. The desired goal has come out now. But this is not the end. It is going even more further. What is that? When the sugarcane, what do you do with the sugarcane? You make a juice out of sugarcane, right? It is even more sweeter. And then when you go to the sugarcane juice, when you boil it, what do you get? You get the wet molasses. Wet molasses. And further, you get dry molasses. So they all has got a name. See, the juice is compared to sneha, affection. So when the prema gets more condensed, one goes to the stage of called sneha. Sneha means affection. So what is happening in affection is the devotee cannot remain even for a moment without the Lord. You see the pure devotees of Krishna, like Srimati Radharani. She can't be without Krishna even for a moment. The gopis. So those devotees who are of those, higher levels or in the complete prema stage, they go through this various things. So sneha is more condensed form of prema. And you see the next stage, it is mentioned here, molasses, wet molasses. It's called mana. It is like a, where they kind of, you see, there is many pastimes of Srimati Radharani where she gets jokingly angry with Krishna, and she don't want to talk with Krishna, right? And then that prema emanates. So those kind of things we see here. And then pranaya. And the next one is the dry molasses, where it is mentioned that where someone where it is said that this is also a kind of love where someone is glorified, but they don't want to get glorified. They are completely, kind of absorbed in that love. That is called pranaya. And pranaya, when it is more condensed, when it is further, it becomes, like the wet molasses, dry molasses, then it comes to the form of a sugar. Sugar is considered here as a raga, attachment to the Lord. And here, even the unhappiness becomes happy in the presence of the beloved. The beloved Lord's presence, even unhappiness sounds happiness. So a raga stage. And from raga, it becomes anuraga, further attachment. And further, so that is compared to candy sugar. First normal sugar, then it becomes candy, sugar candy we say, and then sugar candy, then finally it also gets into rock candy, even more condensed. Then finally it goes to lozenges. So these, just like the sugar, you see the various stages of sugar. I mean, how you get this various stages of sugar. Similarly, it is compared to prema. So we only know prema is the highest so far, right? But here Mahaprabhu is talking about further prema also. There are many different stages, and that pure devotees go through all the stages. So this is something we can just hear and then appreciate. But it is something we can pray for it. At some point of time in our life, we can get it. But this is what happens in a pure devotee's life. They go through this various emotional exchanges, feelings, with the Supreme Lord. Something very, very confidential, personal, which they relish within themselves. So that is what is explained here. So this is all bigger, higher science. But anyway, it's good to understand. It is like somebody is in a primary class, and we also know that we have to go to secondary. We need to go to university, postgraduate study. So we know that these things may come in the postgraduate study or in our university, but we also understand we are in primary like that. So these subject matters are quite high, but we still try to understand, oh, these are all things are there. Where am I standing? We saw in the previous PPT, the previous slide, that, the different steps, the initial steps are given. So in one sense, more or less, we are still struggling to get rid of our anathas and are in the very beginning stages of our devotion life. Actually, this slide helps us to understand that, where do we stand actually? We have a long way to go. And it also reminds us that we cannot be proud of whatever little devotion we have, because it is so tiny compared to what is actually expected or what is the real stages in devotional life. So we can see here. So this can be an encouraging factor. I'm not saying in a negative tone, but we can see, wow, so many things are there, so many steps are there. So that means I need to deepen my prayer and I need to really put my sincere effort. We can understand that point. Okay. So then we have the different rasas. It is mentioned primary rasas in devotion. What are the different rasas? Shanta rasa. Shanta rasa means neutrality. This rasa, people who are in this rasa, they are not much inclined or they are not much attached to the personal feature of the Lord. They are more into this Brahma Jyoti. They are more into this effulgence. They are considered as the Shanta rasa, people who are in the Shanta rasa. They consider neutrality. Here the examples given are 9 Yogendras, Navayogendras. And the Navayogendras are saintly personalities who are 9 in number. They actually instructed King Nimi. And they can move around. They have special mystic powers to move around the various planets. They are so great. They had this mystic powers. They are very powerful. They had great spiritual potency, but they are not very much attached, to the personal feature of the Supreme Lord. The same thing happened, in this case of, you see the 4 Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara, the 4 sons of Brahma. So they were initially impersonalist, but when they actually went to Vaikunta, at the doorkeepers, Jaya and Vijaya, there is a pastime there we see. And when they smelled the fragrance coming from the Tulasi Manjaris offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, that actually awakened their dormant love for Krishna. Then the same impersonal mood, what they had, it just completely got, disappeared, and they could appreciate and got completely absorbed in the beautiful personal form of the Lord. So this is an example of Shantarasa, devotees in the Shantaras. So what are the other rasas are there? So we have the Dasya rasa. Dasya rasa means a mood of a servant. Actually, we are eternally servants of the Supreme Lord. In fact, when someone asked Srila Prabhupada what rasa we should now meditate, am I in Shanta rasa, am I in Dasya rasa, or whatever different rasa, Prabhupada said, don't too much think. Because initially we should always consider ourselves as Dasya, Dasa, that is eternal servant of Krishna. When we get perfected in our spiritual life, the Supreme Lord will reveal us what is our, because every one of us has a position in spiritual life. We all were in the spiritual world with Krishna, and we have our own spiritual identity in the spiritual world. But because we have come down to the material world and started associating and identifying ourselves with this body, we have forgotten our eternal position. So we need to revive back. That means we need to pass through all these different stages and attain that prema. Then we will be revealed what was our identity in the spiritual world. But till then, we should just consider ourselves as servant. We should serve the Lord in the mood of servitude. So here, the famous example is for the Dasya Rasa is Hanumanji, and there are many personalities also. For Dasya Rasa, we have Raktaka, Chitraka, Patraka, Daruka. Daruka, the chariot driver of Krishna, Daruka. So, so all these personalities, they come under, Dasya Rasa. They were completely in the mood of a servant. They just want to please the Lord as a master. And then we have Sakya Rasa. The very famous example is Arjuna as a friend, friend of the Supreme Lord. Sudama, we can say in the first picture, Sudama in Dwaraka. Krishna had many friends, cowherd friends, Sudama, Sridama, Subala, all of them. And then so he exchanged the friendly, loving relationship with them. So that is called Sakya Rasa, in the mood of a friend. Vatsalya Rasa is a parental affection, seeing, accepting Krishna as their son. And we know that it is Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, even though many times many people would come and say that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yet Mother Yashoda would not listen to that. She would always consider Krishna as, because Krishna put that special Yoga Maya potency that they could only see Krishna as a son. So they showered love, so much love for Krishna as parents. So that's Vatsalya Rasa, someone who seek Krishna as their beloved child. And then Madhurya Rasa is conjugal love, seeing the Lord as the lover. That's something very higher stage, and someone should not be imitating that one, because that is completely a pure state. And in this material world, because of the contamination, one may identify this rasa with a normal boy and a girl, so then it becomes an offense. So that's why we don't have any eligibility or qualification to talk about those rasas which are completely beyond our intellectual capacity. So that is why it's important for us to remind ourselves in this mood of servitude, to develop that mood, because that is anyways our constitutional position. Jivera Surupa Krishnera Nityadas. So Madhurya Rasa is Gopis, Srimati Radharani, all of them, the queens of Vrinda, Dwaraka, the Lakshmi ji, all of them come under Madhurya Rasa. So these are the different Pradhana Rasas, that is primary rasas, in which one serves the Supreme Lord. So the many devotees of Krishna, and we see that each one of them have different, they relish different mellows, and they serve the Lord in that mellow. And then there is also 7 Gauna Rasas, that means indirect rasas. It is, it is not eternally present, but it appears whenever there was a particular occasion, a particular rasa may just come manifest. So it depends on the situation it arises. So we see here, laughter. This is Hasya Rasa. And then this is Karuna Rasa, compassion. And this is Adbhuta Rasa, Wonder Rasa. And this is Veera Rasa, and anger, Raudra, and Bhayanaka, fear, and Bibhasa, disaster, So the five direct rasas are permanently situated in the heart of the devotee, whereas the 7 indirect emotions appear suddenly under certain conditions and appear more powerful. So we see that this is these are some of the things, as different mellows in which the devotee serves. Of course, as Srila Prabhupada mentions, we try to serve in the mood of servant. That we should never forget. And then slowly, by the mercy of the Lord, our spiritual identity will be revealed. The cows in the spiritual world, the cows, the calves, the grass, they're all in the Shanta Rasa, the neutral Rasa. So, so the point here is that these are the different mellows in which the devotee serves the Supreme Lord. So now, with this little thing, we are just going now, as we were mentioning in our session, we are going to have a session from 8 o'clock to 8:45, probably 8:50. Little bits we will discuss. And then we also like to see, we try to reflect or remind ourselves what we have read in that session. Just like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Shravana means we hear, and Kirtana means we speak, we glorify. When we do these two, then we are able to remember Smaranam. So many times we attend a session, but then what happens is that time we remember, and then when we go back, then it goes out of our head. By the time next week comes, we may not even remember what exactly we were listening or we were learning. So what we thought was, rather than discussing on so many different subject matters, we will discuss a considerable amount of verses, and then a number of verses, and then we will have a short few questions where we can try to answer. And this time we have given a very, very simple questions. So in that way, we can reflect back and remember today. So that would be much better, So that's what we planned. So today we just, because of, and today the Kirtan was also very nice. So we will do the Kirtan at 7:50 to 8 o'clock. And 8 o'clock, we will start the class. Try to be sharp. I will try my best. And 8 o'clock, and then we will go on for 45 minutes. And then we will have a short quiz. Quiz in the sense, questions will be put open, and then we can try to answer. And then we will have announcements and any special occasions are coming up. We will talk about that, and then we will have Darshan of Jagannath. So max by 9:15, everything gets over. So devotees can sleep early as well. So that's what we planned for this year. By mercy of Krishna, hope everything goes well. Okay, let's see the questions for today. So what we are requesting is that it's not like a Kahoot at this point of time. You can openly put your answers in the chat box. And we will see first come whoever has first put their answer. So they will be marked as the winners. So like that, every week we will be seeing. And then, of course, they will get a gift at some point of time. Okay, rather than gift from, they will get a tangible gift as well, but it is also, there'll be the enthusiasm and eagerness to hear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes certainly pleases the entire Guru Parampara. So we may ask a question. One is, by hearing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, what happens is that our heart gets purified, and then we also awaken. It inspires us. And it awakens us, our dormant love. And also we see that it is very, very pleasing, to the entire parampara. Okay, let's see. What's the quiz? Name of the devotee who serves the Lord in the spirit of Shanta Rasa. The questions, there are 4 answers given: Arjuna, Dhruva Maharaj, 4 Kumaras, and Hanumanji. You can use the chat box to put your answers. So whoever has put the first will be marked by the team. Okay, great. Many devotees have put. Yes, brilliant. It is 4 Kumaras. Yeah. That's brilliant answer. So let me see. Finally, we will say who have answered well. So the first answer, everyone's answer is considered. But I can see Anuradha Achutapriya Mother just first put the answer. Okay, be ready for the next question. All simple questions for this time, because this is the first week, isn't it? Yes, name of the devotee who serves the Lord in the spirit of Dasya Rasa, Vasudev, Hanuman, Rajagopis, and Bhima. Okay. Brilliant. Yes, simple answer, but it's good. How alert, how alert we are. So who answered first? Again, Anuradha Mataji? Oh, she is on the. Okay, let's go to the next. Name of the devotee who served the Lord in the spirit of Sakya Rasa. All have put a very simple rasas: Arjuna, Bhishma, Prahlad Maharaj, and actually the spelling mistake. Okay. So let's see the answers. Please keep putting in the answers. Okay, let's go to the next. Which one is not in the stage of Bhakti Yoga? Shraddha, Bhajana Kriya, Shravanam, Prema. Which one is not in the stage of Bhakti Yoga? Because we discussed about the stage, the ladder of Bhakti Yoga from the first step to Prema. There are quite a few steps, but one is not here. What is that? Yes. Okay, good. We'll move on to the last, I think, couple of more questions. Try to answer. Name of the devotee who serves the Lord in the spirit of Vatsalya Rasa. Easy question. Draupadi, Srimati Radharani, Kunti Maharani, Devaki. Yes. Yes, yes. Hari Bol. We will see. Okay. Name of the devotee who serves the Lord in the spirit of Madhurya Rasa, Draupadi, Kunti Maharani, Brajagopis, Mother Ganga. Sorry. Yes. Okay. So I think one more last question looks like. What is the meaning of Anartha Nivriti? Following 9 types of vrata, becoming free from all unwanted things, becoming free from devotional service, becoming expert in identifying anartha. Okay. Cool. Okay. Thank you for participating. So we have some announcements also. We will see the winners for today's session. Prabhu, you have anything to say? Today is also Vivek Prabhu is there if he has got any. Tanigevel Prabhu. Before that, today is also the auspicious Ekadasi. It is called Putrada Ekadasi, also Vaikunta Ekadasi. I think the temples are filled with devotees. So very, very auspicious day, a day of remembering the Lord, and the day of devotional service. Whatever we do on the Ekadasi is very, very pleasing, extra pleasing to the Lord. It's like a extra bonus, it's like a bonus mercy we get in whatever we do. And that's why Ekadasis are so, so special. Extra chanting, extra reading, extra devotional service, extra worship, whatever we can do more and more. That will be really brilliant. And of course, fasting from grains, very important. So we every 15 days, we are getting this opportunity of Ekadasi, a very special favorite day of the Lord, for us to, see that we make the best use of this day, in the service of the Lord. That would be very, very pleasing. And we see that we progress, because These are days of Bhakti Janani. These days give birth to more devotion. That's what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Madhava Tithi. That is why Ekadasi is also called Madhava Tithi. The Tithi of Madhava or Krishna. Very, very favorite day of the Lord. Yes. So hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita, doing Shravanam of the Lord's pastimes, that is also a wonderful devotional service on the Ekadasi day. Yeah. So we will see this. Okay. So Prabhu, is there anything to announce? Can you
Krishna
kindly
Mataji,
Yes,
there is regarding the temple services, and also I would like just thank you all the devotees who went yesterday for distributing the book on the book depot in Soho temple, and they captured so many contacts, more than I think 50 plus contacts were taken by Dilip Prabhu, Kusuma Mataji, and Ram Swami Prabhu and Yogesh Prabhu and few Bengali devotees. So we will compile all those contacts, and slowly we will ask them to join our regular course and regular Sangha. So this is one thing. So if you have noted any of the devotees, please pass it to our outreach team. Kripasindhu Prabhu is leading it. So that will be the best thing. And also regarding the temple services, we are going to more and more involved into temple services. So it's not only physical service, we have to develop the service mood and love to Krishna, not only technically serving. So it will be just IT, you are doing your job and you are coming home without getting anything. So that is what we are planning to schedule a training on that. So we will let you know when it is, and then accordingly we'll do. So currently, Mataji, there is no as specific any festival or event coming as per calendar. I am yet to get the calendar for next 6 months. So once it comes, then we'll announce. But as of now, I can see the major festival is Gaur Purnima, which is on 7th of March.
Sorry, Prabhu?
Your major festival, I don't see anything in couple of months. Mainly,
No, not major festivals. Of course, Advaita Acharya's appearance is coming end of the month.
Okay.
And we'll have, Nityananda Trayodasi coming up in February first week.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, devotees like today's takeaway. Of course, there are many things we can always take away. But one of the thing is that I think even yesterday in Soho temple also, the Chaitanya Charitamrita session, the point came across was about servitude, mood of a servant. How, there is one Mahaprabhu and there are two Prabhus. Even the two Prabhus, Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya, are serving that one Mahaprabhu. And there is only one Supreme Lord, but everyone else are these servants. Like there are many ministers, but there is one Prime Minister. So one may be a master in their own house, like we have our own family, child, husband, wife, or whatever. We may be the master, but we are not the Supreme Master. So the mood is that what is pleasing to the Lord is to take the role of a servant. That's why the Lord himself takes the role of a servant. We see Krishna taking the role of a servant and serving his devotees, and he derives great pleasure, like Arjuna as Parthasarathi. And Krishna, goes in the Rajasuya Yajna of Yudhishthira Maharaj and taking the humble role of washing the feet of the guest. So we see the Supreme Lord takes pleasure in taking the mood of a servant. Similarly, we see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how, even to impersonalists like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya at the very beginning, how he was humbly sitting down and listening, to his things, and how the Lord also, to his own devotees, he will ask, what should I do next? He's a supreme independent Lord. He can take decisions. He do not have to ask anybody. But yet, he's conquered by their love, and he takes that mood of a servant. So when the Lord himself takes that mood, relishes that mood, and appreciates that mood, why not? We take that mood, and we see that I was telling this pastime of Kanchipurna, how he was serving Lord Varadaraja personally, and he can have conversation with the Supreme Lord. But when he was asked whether he will go to Vaikunta at the end of his life, the Lord said, my dear servant, you are very dear to me, but I am sorry that you may not be able to come back to Vaikunta in this life, because you serve me nicely, but you have not served my devotee, not even one devotee. So, the chances are, you may have to, come again, you may have to wait. So then immediately, how the, he keeps his fan, and, he goes, Kanchipurna will go and search for a devotee, and he serves, does a menial service, and finally the Lord says, yes, now I'm so pleased. So the mood of servitude is something which is a standing point yesterday and today also. We see that even though so many rasas, higher rasas are mentioned, Srila Prabhupada mentions that in our conditioned state at this point, we should only take the mood of a servant and try to serve. And even in people in the other rasas, that is completely liberated platform. But in a conditioned platform, we try to take the mood of servant and develop that mood of how we can develop the mood of a servant is something which we can meditate upon, and then remind ourselves in everything what we do that we are not the masters, we are servants. So that is something standing out. Okay, so the winners, yeah, we will see that. Hari Bol. Can you see the screen? Not it.
No, Prabhu. No,
No,
Mataji.
Mataji.
No,
Now
Mataji.
can you see?
Yes.
Okay, in the number 1, we have Anuradha Achutapriya Mataji. Number 2 devotees, Satya Mataji and Taruni Mataji. And number 3, Ujjwala Lakshmi Priya Mataji. 3 big Haribol.
Haribol.
Very nice. And so many devotees have very nicely responded. So that's wonderful. We will have more of this. Today is a very simple one. Let's wait for the next sessions with much more thoughtful questions.
That's
Yes, so very nice. And Prabhu, so we will show Jagannath Darshan. Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry, Madhuri. Today actually is Bharat Prabhu's birthday, so we just wanted your blessings and all the devotees' prayers. Madhuri.
Oh, that's why here you all are assembled in one house at the moment. It's your house?
Yeah, today we went to Radha Gokul and the Madhibai's mercy. We all been there, so we took that.
I could see Bharat Prabhu, and then I was thinking, okay, maybe they all have come for the holidays, spending time together. Oh, it's wonderful to know it's a
Yes,
birthday.
Madhuri, Prabhu is here only.
Oh, excellent. So let's say you have the cake, or you already done the cake cutting?
No, Madhuri, because we couldn't get time to make the cake. We just made that Ekadasi small cake joined together and we cut the cake in temple. So, in the man temple, yeah.
So birthday wishes from all the Vaishnavas. So we'll say to for Prabhu. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna dear Prabhu, Hare Krishna to you. May Krishna bless you, dear. May Krishna bless you, dear. May Krishna bless you, dear. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Hare Bol. 3 times Hare Krishna for Bharat Prabhu's well-being, spiritual progress. Very nicely, Prabhu has been serving We could see him in so many programs, in so many services. Wonderful, Prabhu. Keep going. Very inspiring. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaji. Thank you for your
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
thank you for your blessing, and all, because of all your prayers and blessing, I can, I'm doing a very little service, but I wanted to do more service in future because of your blessing. I will try to do more service. Maharaji and Prabhuji, thank you, Maharaji.
Yes, certainly we'll pray. I don't think so eligible to give blessing and all, but definitely prayers are there, and Jagannath is there to give blessings. So you can take darshan of Jagannath and seek his blessings. So that will be wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu, for all your wonderful service.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Maharaji.
thank you, Prabhu. Hari Bol. Jai. So we all can take darshan of Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra Maharani ki Jai, Sudarshan Chakra ki Jai, Ishi Gaur Nitai ki Jai, Panchatattva ki Jai. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, thank you all the devotees for taking part in today's session. So, we would request everyone kindly join the CC session. We will be going from the Madhya Leela where we left. So, it's a nice opportunity to hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita on a regular basis. And we like to finish early also so that go on other things, early to bed, early from bed, and join the japa sessions. And, so that's the thing. And yeah, okay. So we will catch up next week. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaji. Thank you.
Hare Bol. Thank you.